Everybody thinks trading is about money. Nah, it's about pressure. Crushing, silent, invisible pressure. At first, it feels exciting. Charts look like opportunity. You wake up early, you feel motivated. Then the losses start, small at first, then one big one. And that's when it shifts. Suddenly the chart isn't opportunity anymore. It's threat. Every candle feels like it's judging you. Every loss feels personal. You sit there thinking, how did I mess this up again? What's wrong with me? You close the platform and try to relax. Can't. Your brain replays the trade like a broken movie. Same scene, same regret. People around you don't get it. They say just chill or just use a smaller lot. They don't understand that once your brain connects money to decisions, your nervous system treats every trade like life or death, literally. Your heartbeat changes, your breathing changes, cortisol spikes. Your brain goes into fight or flight, and it doesn't stop when you turn the screen off. This is why traders ruin relationships. They look calm, but mentally they're still in the trade. Kids are talking, wife is asking something. You hear them, but you're not really there, because in your head, you're still trying to undo the mistake. That's what makes trading traumatic. Not the chart, not the loss, the fact that you can't escape it. It follows you into the shower, into your dreams, into the smallest moments of the day. And here's the hardest part. Most traders suffer alone. They feel stupid talking about it. Friends don't understand. Family thinks you're overreacting, so you carry it in silence, and it eats you. This is why I always say, trading is not a job, it's psychological combat. If you don't build systems, not just for your trades, but for your mind, this game will break you before it ever pays you. Detach. Limit screen time. Accept losses as cost, not as punishment. And remember, this is just a tool to make money, not your identity, not your purpose, just a tool. Treat it like a tool, and it might actually give you freedom. Treat it like validation, and it will destroy everything you care about. Why winning can feel worse than losing. It sounds crazy, but let me tell you the truth. Sometimes winning is what destroys a trader. Not the loss, not the drawdown, the win. Because when you finally hit that big trade, your brain takes a screenshot. This is how it should feel. This is how every trade should go. Now you've created an expectation. And expectation is poison in this business. Next trade comes. It goes small profit. Feels disappointing. Next one, small loss. Feels like failure. Your brain keeps comparing everything to that one big win. And now you're not trading the market anymore. You're trading a memory. This is where ego quietly takes over. You start aiming your trades, pushing for the same big result. You hold longer than you should. You size bigger than the setup deserves. You turn simple risk into emotional gambling. All because one big win made you think you're better than the market. Listen closely. Winning is not proof that you're right. It's just proof that probabilities played in your favor this time. A real trader doesn't celebrate the outcome. He studies it. He asks, was that win based on skill or pure luck? Would I take the exact same trade in a different context? How do I protect myself if the exact opposite happens tomorrow? That's the difference between a one-hit wonder and a survivor. So when you win big, resist the rush. Don't upgrade your lifestyle. Don't call yourself a genius. Don't change your rules. Take the win like a businessman collects a payment. Calm, quiet, detached. Because if you let that dopamine hit drive your next decision, the market will take back everything it gave you, plus interest. Why your personal life starts falling apart when you trade emotionally. Most traders think drawdown is just a number on a screen. It's not. It bleeds into every part of your life. You take a bad trade in the morning, by afternoon you're snapping at people for no reason. Not because you're a bad person, but because your brain is still stuck in that moment you press buy. You feel stupid, angry, ashamed, and you take it out on people who have nothing to do with it. I've seen marriages collapse from this. Literally. Not because the trader was evil, but because every day the market beat him psychologically, and there was no mental boundary between trading and life. When you don't process the loss properly, you start hiding it, not just on the chart. In real life, you pretend everything is fine. You avoid talking about it. You avoid opening your platform, and little by little, avoidance becomes your new habit. That's when things get dangerous. Instead of recentering your mind, you escape. You binge YouTube. You force a trade to get it back. You overeat. You drink. Anything to numb the feeling. That's how trading becomes destructive, not from the money you lost, but from the habit of never dealing with the mental weight. You want the antidote? You need a post-trade protocol just as much as a trading plan. After every session, you do 3 things. Write what happened, win or loss. Describe how it made you feel, don't lie. Decide if the emotion is valid or just ego. If you don't dump the emotion out of your head, it will dump itself into your personal life. And suddenly, your family starts paying for trades they never took. This is not just about being profitable. It's about staying human while you try to be profitable. Trading forces you to face parts of yourself you've been avoiding. You want to know why this game hurts so much? Because it exposes you. Every weakness, every insecurity, every illusion of control you thought you had. The market puts it all on the table. Impatient, you'll rush into trades. Ego, you'll refuse to cut losses. Insecure, you'll follow other people's calls instead of trusting yourself. Fearful, you'll exit too early and miss every move. And the worst part, the market keeps repeating the test until you fix the behavior. That's why it feels personal, because it is. It's literally reflecting your character back at you, through money. Most careers don't do that. You can hide in a normal job. You can blame the boss, blame the system, blame co-workers. In trading, there is no one to blame, just you and the chart. So every mistake hits deeper. It's not just I lost money. It's I lost money because I wasn't disciplined. That's what makes this mentally destructive. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you keep ignoring. And if you don't fix them, they'll keep bleeding into your results. That's also why a lot of traders eventually quit, not because the strategy didn't work, but because they couldn't keep facing themselves every day. Want to survive? Stop treating the market like an enemy. Start treating it like a mirror. When something hurts, don't hide from it. Ask what part of me is causing this. When you fix that, both your trading and your life improve. That's why I say trading isn't just about money. It's a personal development machine, and it doesn't turn off. The emotional price of constant uncertainty. What people don't understand about trading is this. You wake up every day with no guarantee. No guarantee of income. No guarantee your edge still works. No guarantee today won't be the day everything goes sideways. That kind of uncertainty is heavy. Most humans aren't built for it. They want stability. A paycheck every 2 weeks. A schedule. Something they can rely on. Trading gives you none of that. It's just possibility. And possibility sounds exciting until you've had 5 red days in a row and the rent is due. That's when the real damage happens, because your mind starts obsessing. What if it never works again? What if I'm not built for this? What if I blow everything? That's not just mental noise. That's psychological erosion. It slowly eats your confidence, then your decision-making, then your identity. Suddenly, every trade feels high stakes. You stop following your plan. You start overprotecting wins. You hesitate. You choke. That's the emotional cost of dealing with uncertainty every single day. So how do you survive it? You build structure around the chaos. That means fixed trading hours, fixed maximum daily loss, mandatory breaks after X amount of trades, non-negotiable rules for screen time, a life outside trading, gym, family, hobbies. You don't control the outcome, but you control your environment. Structure is the only thing that keeps uncertainty from becoming trauma. Trading can be brutal, but it doesn't have to destroy you if you learn to build safety around uncertainty. Why the market feels like it's personally attacking you. Here's something nobody tells new traders. The market has no face, but it will feel like it's attacking you specifically. You'll catch yourself saying things like, why does it always reverse when I enter? Why does it only wick my stop? Why does this only happen to me? That's when the mental damage really starts, because now you've stopped seeing price as price, and you've started taking everything personally. That triggers something dangerous, victim mindset. Once you feel victimized, you stop thinking clearly, you stop adapting, you start blaming brokers, blaming liquidity, blaming the strategy, blaming anything except your own execution. And from that point, you're just reacting emotionally. You enter out of frustration, you exit to protect yourself. You overtrade just to get back at the market like it's a person. That's the fastest path to blowing up, not just money, but self-confidence. Want the cure? Understand this. The market isn't against you. The market isn't for you. The market doesn't even know you exist. You're not being targeted. You're just being included in a giant system of liquidity. If your entry happens to align with where liquidity sits, you get clipped. It's not personal. It's mechanical. Accepting that alone removes half the emotional pain. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what did I do that aligned me with the liquidity trap? How do I stay out of that zone next time? Because when you remove the sense of personal attack, you regain personal control. And that's the only mindset that keeps this game from becoming torture. How isolation amplifies the pain and what to do about it. One thing that makes trading more brutal than most people realize is that you're doing it alone. No coworkers, no daily feedback, no external structure, just you and a screen and your thoughts. That isolation seems harmless at first, feels peaceful even. No boss, no noise, but over time, it starts working against you. A loss doesn't just hit your account. It bounces around in your head with no outlet. You internalize it. You magnify it. You overthink it. And because nobody around you understands what it feels like, you stop talking about it. That silence becomes a trap. Little by little, the market becomes your entire world. You wake up, charts, eat, charts, night, charts, dreams, charts. And when your world equals charts, every loss feels like the world is collapsing. That's how traders fall into depression without even noticing. The value here is simple. Trading alone doesn't mean you have to live alone. Build connection outside of the market. Speak with one trader friend you trust, not to get signals, but to share reality. Set a timer to physically leave the screen. Stay around normal people so your brain remembers there is life outside of charts. A lonely trader is dangerous, not because he lacks skill, but because he lacks perspective. When you lose perspective, small drawdowns feel like the end of the world. Don't let trading isolate you. It's a craft, not a prison. Why trading drains you even when you don't take a trade. Here's something most people don't realize. You don't need to enter a trade for trading to exhaust you. Just watching the market all day drains your mental battery. Why? Because your brain is constantly processing threat. Every candle that moves, potential danger, or potential reward. So even if you never click the button, your nervous system stays on high alert. That's why you finish a no-trade day, feeling more tired than a 10-hour shift at a regular job. It's decision fatigue. You've spent 6 hours filtering possibilities. Should I enter? Should I wait? Should I walk away? It feels like nothing happened, but mentally you just ran a marathon. And here's the dangerous part. Traders mistake that exhaustion for lack of discipline. They say things like, why am I so tired? I didn't even do anything. Yes, you did. You processed risk all day. That's a high-intensity cognitive load. If you don't respect that, you'll end up forcing trades just because you're tired of staring and need to do something. That's how you end the day down for no reason. So what's the move? Set hard screen time limits. 4 hours max. Rue, step away. Even if no trade happened, Walking away is not laziness, it's strategic energy management. Your job isn't to stare at charts 24/7. Your job is to stay mentally sharp for the moment when the real setup finally shows up. A tired trader sees noise as opportunity. A fresh trader sees it as danger. Choose which one you want to be. The silent guilt that comes with being a trader. Nobody talks about this, but if you've been trading for a while, you've felt it. Guilt. Guilt that you're home all day while your friends are working real jobs. Guilt that you chose to risk money instead of earning it normally. Guilt when you lose money because you feel like you should have done something more productive. That guilt builds slowly, and if you don't deal with it, you'll start sabotaging your own trades without even knowing why. You'll skip good trades because you subconsciously feel you don't deserve to profit. You'll overtrade when you're in drawdown because you feel ashamed. It's not about the market anymore. It's about trying to prove to yourself that you made the right life choice. That mental loop is dangerous. Trading requires clear thinking, but guilt fogs everything. It turns simple decisions into emotional wars. So let me tell you something nobody told me back when I started. Trading is a legitimate profession. It's difficult, it's lonely, but it's real. You don't need to justify it to your parents. You don't need permission from society. You don't need to carry shame every time you take a loss. Losses are not failure. Losses are business expenses. And as long as you handle your business like a professional, risk-managed, controlled, consistent, you have nothing to feel guilty about. The only time guilt is valid is when you stop acting like a professional and run back to gambler behavior. If that's not the case, stand tall. You're building skill. You're taking risk most people could never emotionally handle. Don't let guilt sabotage what discipline built. The real reason this game feels so heavy, and the only way to survive it long term, most traders think the goal is to beat the market. That's why they suffer, because every day becomes a fight, every candle becomes an opponent, every loss becomes proof that you're losing the battle. That mindset creates stress, and stress turns into emotional fatigue, and emotional fatigue turns into bad decisions, ruined days, and broken confidence. Here's what I finally realized after 40 years. You're not fighting the market. You're fighting your own reaction to it. The market is just a screen of numbers. It doesn't care. It doesn't judge. It just moves. You are the one who gives it meaning. You decide whether that red candle is a disaster or just another data point. And that's the difference between the ones who last 3 months and the ones who last 30 years. The short-lived trader tries to control the market. The long-lived trader learns to control himself. That's why I call trading a psychological sport. The strongest mind survives, not the best setup. So what's the real secret? Stop asking, how do I win more trades? Start asking, how do I react better when I lose? Because when you master your reaction, the losses don't traumatize you, the wins don't inflate you, and the market stops feeling like war. It becomes exactly what it truly is, a tool. A machine you use to extract capital, nothing more. Detach the ego, respect the risk, stick to the plan, and leave the outcome to probability. Do that enough times, and trading stops destroying your life. It starts improving it.